Hi everyone, this is my tutorial video. How to solve a right triangle. To solve a right triangle, first identify which sides and angles are given. If you know two sides, you can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. To find the third side, if you know one side and acute angle, you can use trigonometric ratios, sine, cosine, or tangent to find the missing sides of the angles. After finding all the sides and angles, you can check your work by making sure the sum of the angles equals 180 degrees. What is a right triangle? A right triangle is a type of triangle that has one right angle, which measures 90 degrees. The opposite side of the triangle is called hypotenuse, and it is the longest side of the triangle. The other two sides are called the legs. The relationship between the sides of a right triangle is described by the Pythagorean theorem, which states that the square of hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the two sides.
Talk about how to solve the missing part of a given right triangle using the saw, ka, and towa. So without further ado, let's do this topic. So what we have here are the two examples that we have for this video, and what we have here is to solve for the missing part of each right triangle using the saw, ka, and towa. Before we dive in with this first and second example, let's have the saw. Saw stands for the sine is equal to opposite over the hypotenuse. Ka, it stands for the cosine is equal to adjacent side over the hypotenuse side. Towa, it stands for the tangent is equal to opposite over the adjacent. So let's go with the first example. This one is a given right triangle, and what we have here is an acute angle, which is the 36 degree. So what we need to do here is to know what kind of side is this and this with respect to your acute angle 36 degrees. With respect to your acute angle 36 degrees, this side, or the missing side, which is x, this one is your opposite side because that is opposite to your acute angle. And definitely, this side, which measures 10 centimeters, is your hypotenuse because this 10 centimeters, or this side, is opposite to your right angle. So what do we need to do here is to list down what we have. First, we have the given, which is the hypotenuse, and missing, or the missing part, is the opposite side. So how are we going to decide which one among these three is useful for our given problem? So remember, you need to know which ratio has the opposite hypotenuse or hypotenuse and opposite. Okay, very good. You're correct. We can use the saw. Therefore, we will use sine. And then what we need to do is to copy the acute angle, which is 36 degrees. So what we have is sine 36 degrees. And remember our ratio, opposite over the hypotenuse. We will substitute the value of the opposite side, which is, this is x, and the hypotenuse is 10. Copy this one. We have sine 36 degrees. So what's next is, we will cross multiply. Let's cross multiply. And then I will use a different ink. I will cross multiply 1 times x, and then 10 times sine 36. Let's multiply. 1 times x is x. On the other side, we have 10 times sine 36 degrees. So to get the value of this x, we will use the calculator. So to simplify this, what you need to do is to input first 10. We will input first 10 and then press sine 36. So even though na hindi mo na kailangang press pa yung degree symbol, or you can simply close it and then press equal sign. So as you can see, we have here 5.87785. So for our answer, we will just have a 1 decimal place or decimal point for this final answer. So if this is 5.87785, and this is to be rounded off as 5.9. And don't forget the unit, and that is centimeters. This is the length of our opposite side, or the variable x. Now let's continue with problem number 2. For problem number 2, so this is your right triangle, and this is the missing side, and this is the given side. With respect to your 40-degree angle, this x is the opposite. And with respect to your acute angle 40 degrees, this is the adjacent side. So what we need to do is to think which ratio has the opposite and adjacent. Okay, very good. We will use the TOA. But before that, let's list down all the given. Given is the adjacent side. Missing, or what's missing in this problem, is the opposite side. We will use the TOA, or the tangent ratio. That is tangent 40 degrees. And then copy the ratio, opposite over the adjacent side. This is tangent 40 degrees is equal to your opposite side, which is x, over the adjacent side, which is 6. Okay, so what we need to do is to cross multiply again. I will put an invisible one here for us to multiply this x variable. We have here and this one. Okay, let's multiply. This is 1 times x, that is x. For this, copy 6 times tangent 40 degrees. Now again, we will use our calculator, our scientific calculator. Again, this is very important. Press 6, then press tangent 40 degrees. And as you can see, this is the answer. So we have 5.046977787. So sabi ko sa inyo kanina, I told you earlier that we will only express our final answer in single decimal. But since this is 0, and when we round it off, it is a whole number. Final answer here, your x is equal to 5 centimeters. And this is the answer for this problem, guys. So I hope, guys, you learned something from this video on how to find the missing sides, or the missing side of a given right triangle using the SOHCAHTOA and TOA. And as part of her routine, I will give you this problem. I will draw a right triangle, and I hope na makita ko sa ating comment section what is your answer in this problem. So I will draw a right triangle here. This one. So the given are, this is 34 degrees. This is 12 centimeters. And the missing side is this. So what is the answer? So again, guys, if you're new to my channel,